Yes, Vijay Lakshmi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So congratulations again, Vijay Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so this will have 15-20 minutes maximum, right? So we'll have
Yes, sir.
a series of questions, right? Let me brief you and try to be very comprehensive in your reply, right? Think it as a new person watching it, wanting to take law optional or in general wanting to prepare for UPSC, right? So the advice that you are giving to him, right? Okay, so Vijay Lakshmi, tell us about yourself.
Uh, Sir, I am Vijay Lakshmi and I have secured All India rank 233 in this year's UPSC Civil Services Examination, sir.
So which college you are graduate of, Vijay Lakshmi?
Sir, I have done BCom LLB from Punjab University, Chandigarh, sir.
Yes. Okay. How did you? First tell me that when did you started to prepare for law optional or in UPSC in general, in college or after you passed out from the college?
Sir, during my college time only, I started preparing for UPSC. So, in initial years, I started with the newspaper reading and the basic NCRT books only. And so, in my final year of the college, I started full-fledged preparation by enrolling in the online courses, sir.
And what about law optional? When you decided that you should go for law optional, not any other option? I mean,
So, since I have, yes,
yes,
sir.
please go.
So since I have done my graduation in law, so during my college, it was very much like decided that I would go with law optional only.
You could have gone for BCom also, right? Because you have done BCom LLB. So, but still, you
Yes.
studied for law. Okay, that's good. Okay. Now, Vijay Lakshmi, tell me, how did you started to prepare with the regard to constitutional law? I mean, what are the sources that you referred and how did you go about it?
So my major sources remained the books which I have referred in my college only. So for constitution, we have studied Narendra Kumar, which was being told to us by our professors, and I have made my notes on the lines of the PYQs. So that was my single point of source for constitution, along with the Bare Act.
So you prepared your own college notes, you used that itself and along with the PYQ, you prepared it, right? Okay. Now, what
Yes.
about international law?
So international law also. So I made my notes on the lines of the PYQs, like whatever themes or the questions have been asked. I made my notes according to that, 20-30 pages for that, and I revised those. So the book which I referred in my college only, SK Kapoor. So that was the single source.
You also did not use any kind of dukis and everything, right? You just relied on your traditional books itself.
Yes, sir.
That's good. That's good to know. In fact, right now I was taking another interview, right? He was also telling me because I did not read Dukis, right? So you are the second person today saying that you did not read Dukis. That's good. I mean, see, Dukis are basically guidebooks, right? So it can be used as a additional source, not as a complete.
Okay, okay. So actually, there was some, I think, like I was not able to hear you that you mentioned about Dukis.
Yeah, Dukis.
So, sir, I referred Dukis.
You referred. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir, sir. Yes.
I thought that you were also saying that you are okay. That's okay. Now, what about paper two, specifically CLD? People mostly are confused with regard to CLD. How did you go about it? I mean, what are the sources that you referred? Because the reason I'm asking this to everyone is that people often see the topic and they find that, okay, the entire topic of that law optional, right, is basically your entire subject. In the CLD, each and every topic is entire subject in itself, right? So people get, often confused with
Yes,
regard to
sir.
that law optional syllabus. So how did you go about it?
So my first source was to map the PYQs. Like from CLDs, there are very certain topics which are being asked again and again. So I made notes with respect to those topics. And so apart from that, sir, I referred the bare acts. For instance, in we have IT law or we have other where we can refer the bare acts. I made notes from the index of those bare acts. So for CLD, I don't think I have put much effort by going in depth into each and every subject. Rather than that, sir, I kept it very specific and to the point with respect to the PYQs only.
Okay, so you're saying that you simply look at the bare act, the index, the sections, right? The arrangement of the section, and accordingly you prepare.
Yes, some standard case laws or recent developments that have took place in that particular subject, and along with the PYQs. So these were 3-4 essentials which were being like present in my notes, and I revised those things. So.
And what about law of crime, Vijay Lakshmi? How did you go about it?
Sir, again, sir, my college notes along with the books which I referred in my college, and Sir Dukki specifically helped me in this subject because it is very bulky, and Dukkis were like the source which I like. It helped me to revise in a much better way, sir.
Very concise and very nicely it have given. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir,
what
very
about
concise and
that
to the point.
BNS and IPC? Did you wrote it simultaneously slash BNS slash IPC, or did you just simply wrote IPC this time?
So this year I had to update my notes on the lines of BNS. So wherever I can recall the sections, I try to incorporate them. But sir, I did not put much emphasis on like memorizing the new sections because ultimately the stuff is almost same. So yes, sir, that was my approach.
And what about the law of contract?
So again, contract my college notes and R.K. Bangia book, which we referred in my college.
Okay.
So those were.
So the entirety of preparation is mostly you started in 4th, 5th year only, right? College, so that helped you, I think, right? That actually made a
Yes.
foundation for that. And that's very good. And what about the current affair, Vijay Lakshmi? How did you handle the current affair?
So for current affairs, I referred to de facto IAS, the current affairs compilation.
That weekly that we sent.
Yes, sir, the weekly compilation which you gave, and sir, also for mains, the PDF which you have provided with respect to the case laws. Yes, so that was of immense
topic
help.
wise case law. Okay.
Yes, sir, topic wise. That was something, and apart from that, so whatever we were reading in the news, if I was able to map them according to my law optional syllabus, I incorporated them into my notes. So these were the few sources for that.
Now little bit, talk apart from law optional, right? Because people are often confused. Now, with regard to prelims, how did you go about it? I mean, the total time frame that you take for the entire prelims preparation, and what is the advice that you want to give to the new candidates?
So prelims preparation. So in my first attempt, my sole focus was on prelims only. So I think my foundation was very strong with respect to the prelims exam. And so as far as preparation is concerned, so the previous year questions, I made my notes, be it of current affairs or of static topics, on the lines of the PYQs. And I have done PYQs from 2011 to 2023. Like many times I have revised, like every day I used to revise or go through the PYQs. Because whenever you read out of the options, every time you come across a new thing from those PYQs, sir. Yes, sir. And so I have made my static notes very concisely. That helped me in like last minute revision in last week or the last day. For instance, my entire history was compiled in around 30 pages. So the note making was also one of the aspects which I really focused upon.
So there also you mostly relied on PYQ, especially the options, right? You read around options, and that is, I think, a very effective.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you qualify CSAT every time, or did you flunk some of the CSAT? Some year, or you?
So in my first attempt only, I could not qualify prelims just because of CSAT. And so after that, I never took CSAT very lightly. I invested proper time and effort which was required for this.
Okay. See, because people from law background often from, they must have given CLAT, you also must have given CLAT, right? Or any kind of entrance exam. So more or less you feel confident कि अरे हो जाएगा, right? But in actuality, sometimes if the question becomes very tough, right, it becomes very hard to crack it, right? That is something, especially to the new students.
In my first attempt, so the issue with CSAT in first attempt was that although I have covered the syllabus, I have done quantitative aptitude and reasoning portion very well. But so the thing which I lacked was I did not practice a single test. So the strategy was very much missing. And in my examination hall, I started from the very first question. And when I stuck in between the mathematics question, I completely, like when half an hour was left, I realized that more than half of my paper is left. So that was a blunder which I made in first attempt, sir.
अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, you have learned your lesson, right? Because CSAT को easy नहीं लेना चाहिए, because people ना वैसे भी last to last JCL की आप बात करें, CSAT was actually very very tough. ठीक है, उस समय उन्होंने almost quantitative questions they have almost cat level they have asked. ठीक है, तो उसे तो काफी लोग फ्लंक कर दिए. Okay, okay. Now, what about Vijay Lakshmi with regard to interview? I know you have sent me the questions and all, but tell me very comprehensively how was the experience, because one to one we are interacting right now. So, what was the experience? What are the questions they asked?
So it was a very memorable experience, I would say. And the board was very cordial. So the atmosphere was completely different, which we witnessed in the mock interviews. And so in my mock interviews, I was feeling quite intimidating and very nervous. But in the main interview, like I did not felt anything of this sort. I was very calm, and even the board was very cordial. I got a board of Lieutenant General Raju Plus, sir, and other members also. And so my whole interview revolved around law as and the questions based on situations with respect to a DM's role. So law plus situational questions were mainly asked. So.
Yes, for your question, right? In fact, after you sent me your questions, right? I sent it to that interview group, right? There I got 3 people, replied to me, ki, sir, this is a very good interview. I also told ki you in 30 minutes they ask you so much dense questions, right? So I was very surprised. So I told you, ki you have a very good interview, right? You must have got, obviously the marks is not out yet, but you will see you must have got around 200 interview, right? Because your interview questions, etc., was phenomenal. Very, very phenomenal. Okay, Vijay Lakshmi. Now, think that a junior of your college is watching you, right? And fourth, fifth year guy, right? And he wants to prepare. What advice would you give him or her?
So for fourth, fifth year students, I would say that if you are deciding law as your optional, like you should make PYQs as your like Bible for the optional and make notes as per the PYQs, because around 70 to 80% questions are being repeated. And so making notes in a very concise manner is very, very important. In my second attempt, sir, I could not qualify mains because I was not able to revise my optional in the last days. And so due to that, I was not able to complete my paper. But so in this attempt, I made sure that I have elaborate notes plus the short notes for optional ready. And I was able to revise entire optional in 1 hour, 2 hour, or whatever time was required in the last minute. So that is very much required. So making your notes, 2 stages notes, I would say. First is the elaborate one, and second is for the last minute revisions.
Okay, very good. Okay, Vijay Lakshmi. So, thank you very much, and hopefully this was quite good. And once the result comes and things become normalized, whenever you come to Delhi, right? Do come. And I will also organize in half an hour or so discussion with the actual students, right? Those who are here, right? You advise them how to study that PPT, etc., so that they will get much more benefited from it. Okay.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Thank you.